Hey everybody, welcome to Nectar Wine Blog. I am your host, Josh Wade, and happy Thanksgiving. It is Thanksgiving today, the football game is on, and the turkey is... Oh, wait a second. We're not having a turkey this year. We're actually doing something different and unique. We're having lasagna and cheesecake. Every other year, my wife and I are all by ourselves for Thanksgiving. And during those years, we have decided the tradition is going to be lasagna and cheesecake. So the wine that we are pairing with tonight's lasagna and raspberry cheesecake are these three Spokane, Washington wines. Some of my favorites, of course, everything in Spokane is awesome. You've got to come here, the new wine destination here in the state of Washington. But Nodland Wine, Nodland Cellars makes some fantastic small craft, small barrel, small lot production wines, and there's attention to detail everywhere you turn. These three wines are new or newish or are being released in the next week or so, and I wanted to run through them, and I'll show you what we're eating over top of this footage with it. So the first one is a 2008 Bebop Riesling. They do this wine when the vintage is right. It's 100% Riesling made in a dry or semi-dry, off-dry way in the glass. Very golden apple in color. Let's give it a sniff. Okay, so not super aged on this wine, but you get some immediate flavors of peach and tropical aroma in there. I know Tim really enjoys the Riesling, the old school Mosel style Rieslings from Germany, Austria, and that's what he's kind of aiming for. And I know the 2005 has represented that aged characteristics, but I don't think it's available anymore. Let's give it a sip. So for me on this wine, I love the initial small, subtle tinge of sweetness, not a ton, then immediately goes into a very dry, doesn't really make you pucker on the back end. That peach flavor is the dominant flavor that I get throughout. And then you have a little bit of floral perfume characteristics as well. Overall, if you're a Riesling lover, you will love this at $20. For those folks that don't really enjoy a very dry Riesling, you may want to give this one a shot. Just in the tasting room, head down there and check it out. But all in all, it's a high quality, very well made representation of the grape. So we'll be pairing the Riesling with the I'll give it a try with the lasagna, but we're mostly looking forward to pairing it with the cheesecake, and we actually used a half a cup in it in a reduction sauce for the raspberry puree as well. This next wine is one that was recently released in the first part of November. This is the 2008 Bad Attitude, one of the coolest new labels that I've seen in a very long time with the rock and roll wine label. Tim and Tracy are doing a rock and roll series of wines, getting down to the lower price point using American oak. Same awesome fruit they use from Seven Hills Vineyards with predominantly a Merlot based blend with some Malbec in it as well. Love the color of this in the glass. It already has a nice aged characteristic to it, a little bit of ruby tan on the side, and then mostly fairly transparent as well. Already getting a sniff. Let's go ahead and give it a sniff. Beautiful characteristics of vanilla and blueberry. Small little tinge of like a charcoal smoke in there, probably represented from the American oak, but it's not overwhelming, which is really a tribute to the careful attention and the winemaking that Tracy does there at Nodland Cellars. Let's give it a sip. Very smooth. Very elegant. I like the mouthfeel in this wine. Envelops your whole mouth, and then also provides a small, just a little touch of spice on the back end. And at $20, this is becoming really easily one of my favorite daily wines, if you will, if you can afford a $20 wine daily. Fits in line with other Spokane wines that I love, with the Rough Justice and the Claret. And then, for those of you who like the T3, this is going to be just a little bit more mellow than that, but in that same price point for by the glass pours at the restaurant. Last but not least, very few people make a 100% Carmenere. So this is the Avant-Garde 2007 Carmenere. 100%. Carmenere was originally one of the 6 Bordeaux grapes used in Bordeaux blends. Has since become nearly extinct, not used very much at all. The Nodlands used Carmenere in all of their red blends, the 2005, the 2006, and also in the 2007. It's going to be released in the spring in different percentage characteristics. So with this 2007 Carmenere, they obviously held some back. They're going to be releasing this on December 3rd at their tasting room. I believe the price point is somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 plus. I'll write it in the notes to get it correct. But in the glass, very well. It's not all the way opaque. It has some dark center characteristics to it. Let's give it a sniff. Okay, so you saw my expression. The wine brings a smile to my face. Beautiful aroma. It's blueberry and vanilla, as where this one was mostly vanilla, and then slight hints of blueberry. And it's got kind of like an exotic little spice to it, not pepper or cracked pepper spice. And maybe I'm just, overwhelmed by it and not able to think of the exact characteristics of the aroma I'm getting. It just smells so amazing. It's got a great nose to it. Let's go ahead and give it a sip. Not having a ton of experience with Carmenere, or especially 100% Carmenere, I can't call out if this is varietally correct, but what I can say is it is an amazingly beautiful wine. The spice on this might be a little too strong for combating with the lasagna. We'll give it a try. I'll report back in the notes of how it went with that. This one is just smooth, soft, subtle, provides a ton of flavor, different layers of characteristics in it. Just a hint of sweetness, a finish that keeps on going. Excellent wine. Again, shows the representation of the consistency across all the wines that the Nodlands do. I'm happy to be able to call them friends and excited about their progress in the wine industry. So, Tim and Tracy, I'm excited to be able to share my Thanksgiving dinner with your wines, and I just want to encourage you guys to enjoy life with friends.